This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I am one of your hosts, Tom.
And I'm Tim.
Tim, what's going on this week?
Tom, I'll tell you
Who's this
what.
man?
I am pumped.
Yeah.
Because we have a man in the studio.
Finally.
Our man trap.
It's been sprung.
Yeah, it's been set for years. Finally.
Let's find what we got.
We caught ourselves a man. You know this man from music. You know this man as a raconteur. You know this man
as a rock
on tour.
It's a rock entrepreneur.
Yeah, that's kind of what he is. You know this man as USA Today's Man of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, the recording sensation, musician supreme, Jeff Rosenstock.
Hi, thanks for having me, you too.
My college roommate, Jeff Rosenstock.
Yes. My acquaintance.
Former acquaintance.
Former
thought
acquaintance.
Current friend.
Oh. Well, we'll see how it goes.
It's fine. We've hung out alone once.
Did we? Where?
Well, I used to work in Mineola, which was near your Apple store in the Roosevelt Field Mall that you worked at. We would get lunch sometimes.
Oh, yeah, we did.
It was fun.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah, some of my best memories.
For you.
No, those lunches made me the man I am today.
Can we get some business out of the way first?
Yeah, sure.
Jeff, you are a dear friend of mine, and I just wanted to disclose that. Jeff also, Tom, I'm not sure if you know this, released totally, the kids are saying, bitchin' album.
I heard this album.
Record album.
It's the bayest of the year. Yeah.
It's called Worry, and I honestly love it. And you're not here to promote it.
No.
I had you on to
but man, I thought
to use my USA Today status.
and I thought this guy was a rock entrepreneur. He's not here to promote. Well, it sounds like he's a wantrepreneur.
Tim thought of the entire idea of the back of the second side of the record, and I've said that in every interview I've done about the record, and nobody's printed it.
I haven't read it. You used
I've
my
said
name?
Tim. I've said Tim.
That's bullshit.
I've said your real name.
Wow.
This is not bullshit. Do you, you know me, wouldn't I have said that?
You've said Beelzebub?
Yeah. His real name, Tim Daniels.
Yeah.
Real name. Is that too...
It's too inside baseball. Nobody knows what you're talking about.
Yes. It's your real name.
It is.
I'm just saying facts. Look, that's why I'm here.
You're saying facts, and sometimes facts get cut out of interviews and cut out of podcasts.
Yeah, Jeff, I think we're getting like a nice little insight as to why.
Is that a good start? Thanks for saying something nice about my record. Fuck you.
You don't know the kind of media connections Tim has.
I literally don't.
My uncle's Rupert Murdoch.
Yeah.
What?
It's true.
Yeah. My cousin. What?
What's Chris? What are holidays like? Are you just like, hey, please don't?
Just please stop doing what you're doing, please. You're harming everything.
He's like, oh, Jimmy, you don't understand.
Were you guys talking about Married with Children?
Yeah.
That's what you complained to Rupert Murdoch about?
Well, yeah.
Get rid of that Married with
He
Children.
foisted that smut on us.
Yeah.
Little known fact, Rupert Murdoch, original star of Married with Children.
That is a little known fact. I've never heard that before.
Yes.
So long story short, Jeff plays guitar and sings.
Yes.
Jeff plays guitar in a band. So anyway, guys.
Moving on.
I was just in a place, guys. I wanted to get some hush puppies, some jalapeno hush puppies before I came here. And I ate them all.
Did you try?
And he did, yeah.
You ate them all?
Yeah, I ate them all before you even got there.
I wanted just one. I should have showed up early.
You should have.
I knew. I'm late for everything. I feel terrible about it. That's something I really don't like about myself. And I was trying so hard to be on time to this, and I wasn't. And that's my punishment.
Yeah, you missed out on a hush puppy. You also missed out on this guy who was sitting at the bar, and he ordered a hamburger.
Mm-hmm.
And then the bartender who was taking his order said, how would you like that hamburger cooked? And he went, medium rare. Medium rare.
Rare.
What was his why? Why
His
did
whole-
he do that? Could you guess?
Because he wanted it medium rare,
Yes.
from what I understand. But the other thing is, like, he
Checks
was
out.
very clearly on, like, a first or second date.
Oh, that guy just now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was trying to impress the woman there, it seemed like, because, like, he did say it a couple times, and, like, he looked at her
Tim,
like,
you famously don't know how dates work.
what do you mean?
You've said that you've never been on a date.
Yeah, I haven't. So
I
what?
also don't know how to do it.
Yeah. Oh, you two guys, this is how dates work.
So you look a woman in
You
the eye and you
bring-
go, medium rare.
You bring a nice lady to a bar, and then you order a hamburger as rare as you can stand it to prove you're a man.
Now, this...
I thought it was that you go out with somebody and that you are your worst self, and then if they like you, you start dating them for a very long time because you're like,
No,
okay.
no. You want everything to be just a false front.
Oh.
Yeah.
That seems hard to maintain. Tom, how many dates have you
Hard
been
to
on?
maintain, Tim.
You winked at me.
That joke hard.
Yeah, I get it.
What's your audience here? 12 and under, 13 and under.
Yeah, mostly. Don't. As long as we communicate the wink, they'll know you were just kidding.
Wink. Can I show you something fun? And you in the audience, try this at home.
Sure.
Wink with the other eye.
I can wink with
Oh,
So
yeah.
like
I'm an
face
ambi-
someone to wink with the other eye.
Oh, like,
Good joke.
okay, yeah, that's pretty good.
Should probably explain that this is the Complete Guide to Everything Christmas party. Unfortunately, as always, Jeff was the only one who showed up. So we decided, you know what?
Thanks a lot, George Clooney.
Do you just delete this episode, or what happened?
Let's just we don't.
Historically, we have, but
Jeff, you've never been on. We did a Complete Guide to Everything After Dark with you once. Maybe that's why you have such a sass mouth right now. You think
am I not
that's-
supposed to be after dark
You
right
think
now?
that
I
that's
can
fine?
stop.
No, it's fine. Jeff.
there hasn't been any sass mouth out there.
He said.
I said the hard joke, and then I talked about dicks. Probably.
Yeah,
We'll
see?
bleep that.
Do you bleep them? Oh my god.
No, we don't bleep them. When we bleep things, it makes it sound 100 times worse. But anyway, guys,
Can you bleep that,
you didn't even.
John?
Oh God,
Sorry.
Jeff, you both get me very frustrated.
Sorry.
Listen, the show has a way. The show has a way it goes, Jeff. And this,
Why haven't I been back on the podcast in so long?
and this is the way it goes.
Okay.
I did the intro, and I'll extend it to you, but I'll say, you know what? Maybe I'll start with Tim. Tim, how was your week?
We'll usually say, actually, how are you doing this
How are
week?
you doing this week?
And then I usually say something like, hey, Tom, I'm pumped.
Yeah. Oh, what are you pumped for?
Well, I'll tell you what. My good friend and colleague, Jeff Rosenstock, is in studio with us today.
Oh, that's who this man is.
He's got a
Okay.
new album out called Worry on Side One Dummy Records.
Right, for people who shop exclusively from record labels.
Yeah.
So they know
Go
where to
straight
look.
to the retailer. Real Taylor, that's what I call him.
Yeah.
Jeff, if you had to, so far, rank your recent podcast appearances by charmingness of host, where would this rank?
Complete guide number 1.
Okay, thank you. That's all.
right.
That's all I need to know.
All right. Thank you very much for coming in this week, Jeff. Jeff, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah?
I don't know. I have to leave tomorrow because it's my niece's first birthday.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, we're only going to hang out for one day.
Yeah. We're friends.
Probably
We talked
just
about it
another, like,
earlier.
45
We talked about
minutes.
it up at the top.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm doing good this week. I'm having a pretty good week. I was gone for like 3 months straight. I saw you like days after I returned from a 3.5 month experience that was kind of crazy, and I
Yeah.
feel like I was not myself.
I came.
And I felt bad about that.
You shouldn't have felt bad about it. I came to your house, to your apartment. I was on your turf.
Yeah.
I was intruding.
I don't know if you're intruding when you're invited over.
Oh, it wasn't one of those snooping. Sometimes he snoops.
I mean, not when he's there, Tom.
Well, no, a lot of times you do snoop when he's there.
Guys, I took my headphones off for a second. What were you talking about?
Oh, nothing. Snooping in other places.
Snoopy?
Snoopy, the dog, the beagle.
Lovable.
How do they get away? Can I ask you this real
Yeah.
quickly? How do they get away with claiming that Snoopy is a beagle When he looks nothing like a goddamn
Thank you.
What does he look like? He looks kind of like a Dalmatian with no spots.
Yeah.
When
That's true.
I was a kid and I would see a beagle and somebody would say, "Oh, it's a beagle like Snoopy," I'd be like, "No, it's not like Snoopy. It looks nothing like Snoopy." I've seen other dogs that look like Snoopy. I can't tell you what breed they are right now.
Really?
No.
They walk on two.
No, well, no. But there was some
They pretend they're fighter pilots.
head the size of their body.
There was a dog years ago that I used to see all the time with the biggest head I've ever seen on a dog. It was such a cute dog.
Picture it didn't happen.
I don't take pictures of every dog I see.
Well, maybe you should.
Poser.
I'm really bad with dog breeds. For a guy that really likes dogs.
Yeah, no, you're a horrible breeder. They all come out weird.
Lock two dogs in your apartment.
Just, hey, guys.
He's like, I bred a Dalmatian with a Dalmatian. I call it a Dalmatian.
Why are you calling it a Dalmatian?
They're called, isn't it?
I was wondering the same thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jeff, you just came back from tour.
Yeah.
And that's coincidentally, it's such a weird coincidence that you're here this week because our topic is going on tour.
I want to know if you're ever going to do the Cowboys podcast.
Oh, we did it last week.
No!
Yeah.
Are you serious?
My God. Yeah.
I offered to have Jeff come in and
Tim
be third
offered
chair.
it to me, and I immediately offered things that I know about because I was like,
What do you know about Cowboys?
nothing.
Oh, well,
He
you missed out.
declined an invitation to be third chair on a Cowboys
I was like,
podcast.
I want to be on Complete Guide very badly, which is true, but
Right.
I had,
Well, join the club.
I was close.
Join the club. There's 7 billion people in it.
I feel like usually when you say join the club, you involve yourself in
Yeah.
it.
Tom, you're on it
you
every
are
week.
the host of the show.
Join the club. It's 7 billion people besides me. Because I'm already on the.
And Tim.
Well, I don't want to be here ever.
Yeah,
really.
no, Tim.
To be
Tim
honest.
doesn't want to be here.
But yeah, sorry.
So are you going on tour again?
In March, yeah.
Oh, okay. Is that why?
I just got back from tour. I've been home, like, I realized, like, the fucking... Can I say fucking on this?
You can. I just don't recommend in general.
Okay.
No.
I'll do my
No.
best.
Don't wave me off, Jeff. This,
No, I'm... Look.
what I'm saying is...
Anyway, Tom, fucking Tim.
It's just like a effing this and effing that. It's just kind of like, who are you?
Yeah,
Some
it makes
sort
you
of
sound
18
stupid. I know. I don't want to talk like this.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk like this. I'm stupid, though.
Wrap your knuckles with a ruler.
Should I take the ruler off my knuckles? It's a ruler joke. Anyway, I've been on tour a bunch this year.
Yeah.
Are we going to edit all the past 20 minutes out?
Yeah.
Cool.
Tim, you had some questions about going on tour for Jeff?
Yeah, I have a lot of
Sorry.
questions about logistics.
Okay.
Oh, great.
Can we start at the top?
Yeah, please.
All right, Tom,
Love it.
feel free to jump in anytime here.
I always do.
And let's full disclosure.
Right.
You've been on tour with me for a very short period, but for some of that. You were on tour like basically the day that I decided like you can get a kind of better hotel room and it's worth it.
Ooh, so I reaped the benefits of that?
Yeah. You didn't stay in a Motel 6. You stayed in a Best Western with a pool.
Well, that's true, but we didn't go in the pool. Did you go in the pool
the
when I
morning?
wasn't there?
Yes, I did.
Tim, whether you went in the pool or not, that's not Jeff's concern. You were
No,
allowed
it's my
to go.
concern.
You were allowed to go in the pool, and that for some people that's enough.
I
Here's
don't-
the thing. If you're on tour, everybody's concern should be your concern because you're a dang team.
Oh yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is, I don't have that kind of initiative to go to the pool alone. I need to be invited. I can't. I'm like a vampire. I won't just come into your house. I need to be
You're a
invited
pool
in.
vampire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I usually ask everybody in the room, and then nobody wants to go generally. And then I text everyone we're on tour with because everyone in the room heard me say, I'm going to the pool. Do you guys want to go? And then I can't look like a dummy and not go to the pool.
Right.
And then I usually go alone.
Wow.
You know what? I would do that. This.
Yeah, why
Yeah.
wouldn't you? There's
If
a
it-
hot tub there.
I do this all the time. Whenever there's a pool, I try. I'm not trying to make a joke here, but I try and play it cool when there's a pool.
Great joke, Tom.
Thank you.
Let's get back to the content.
But whenever there's a pool, I'm always like, you know what? Maybe a little bit later. When inside, I want to go in the pool all the time.
Why don't you just say yes?
Because
wait, what do you mean whenever there's a pool?
Whenever there's a pool. Whenever there's an option to go in a pool, I want to go in the pool.
Do you? I mean, you have to have trunks. You have to have something to swim in.
You're always wearing trunks.
I'm always wearing trunks under my clothes.
Yeah.
just to be safe.
And when we say trunks, we're talking an old-timey one piece.
Yeah, with the stripes.
Right.
Oh, that's what those stripes are.
But
you can kind of see him through his shirt all the time if you.
I wear very
also
flimsy
beautiful
fabric.
mesh vest you're wearing.
Thank you.
Silk pants. Silken pants.
You know why I don't go in the pool right away? Because I'm always the last one out of the pool.
Oh, you don't want your hands to get all pruny?
No. My hands are I don't give a care about my hands getting pruny. It's just I know I'm going to stay in the pool longer than everybody else.
You're going to stain the pool?
Stay in.
Sorry,
I'll enunciate. I like to stay.
Sorry, I can't hear what people say when they have terrible enunciation.
I like to stay in the pool longer than everybody.
Please let the whole.
So I don't want to be. I don't want to be first and last out of the pool, unless.
Why?
When I was a lifeguard, and then it was my job, and then I just looked like a hard worker. First in, last to leave.
People at parties who are like show up late to the party. Why not be the first one there and be the last one there? Why not?
Agreed. Tom,
just
there's no
enjoy
shame.
like a good time. You know?
Do you think
what were you doing when you're not in the pool?
I
went your phone, like just.
This is exactly what I'm about to ask.
Mm-hmm.
What is worse? People being like, man, Tom was in the pool for a really long time.
They're going to say that anyway, so I should just go.
Yeah, like Tom was leering at my girlfriend for an hour before he went in the pool.
Before he went in the pool with goggles on, and when she went in the pool, and then he was just underwater.
I gotta see her underwater.
Tim, you didn't even get to your question.
I did.
Sorry,
I feel like I need to tighten it up a little.
No, I'll let you guide more. I'm usually guiding Chris, so I'm being bad.
On your award-winning podcast, Back
Thank
to the
you for
Island.
acknowledging the award. USA Today's #1 podcast of the year.
Tom, did you know this about Jeff's record?
Jeff's record?
Yeah, USA named it the #1 record of the year.
Yeah,
USA Today, not the whole country.
We're still waiting on the recount for the whole country.
Yeah, the country's been pretty lukewarm on it as a whole, from what I understand. If you look, I'm just saying, if you take all 300,
don't you
people,
dare!
Most of them probably haven't even heard the whole thing yet,
front to back.
Yeah,
this is cruel. Is this why you brought me here?
Tim, of course I've heard that. USA Today is right outside my door every day when I get up at the hotel I live in.
Do you have?
It's a paper people our age read.
Yeah. Do you have a sweet life like Zach and Cody, Tom?
No. In that show Dallas, did they all live in a hotel?
I don't think so. They lived in Dallas, I think.
Yeah, but Dallas has hotels. Jeff,
yeah, but they were
did they
were
live in a
oil
hotel?
barons.
Yeah, but I think when you're real rich, you can live in a hotel. That was my
I always
understanding
feel
as
like
a child.
if you're real rich, you can live in a hotel, but in fiction, people who aren't real rich live in hotels all the time. And I'm like, why don't they just rent somewhere? Why don't they sublet something instead of living in a hotel? It's expensive.
I stayed at a hotel recently that was a hotel and residence.
Okay. On separate floors or on?
I couldn't
Same
tell.
room.
Same room, yeah.
Who are you?
But it would be
One
weird.
of the hotel guests. All right.
Because there was also like a dance club.
Don't touch my stuff.
And a bar and a very fancy lobby.
Yeah, like a hotel.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just like, man, living in a hotel would be pretty cool. Even though I would never want to go to a dance club in any scenario. Hotel bars we were actually talking about before we got here are the worst places in the world.
You know what, though?
No. And a hotel lobby.
No.
Yeah,
no.
Tim, you're putting words in my mouth. I asked you a question about something if it was in a hotel bar, and you were like, yeah, aren't hotel bars the worst? And you didn't let me answer. I actually like hotel bars.
Yeah, what's wrong with a hotel bar?
It's just full of transients.
Yeah, that's what's great.
What do you mean by transients? I got yelled at by saying the word transients in my apartment the other day.
By who? Your wife?
By the Christines. Wow. I live with two Christines. One's my wife, one's my friend.
One's my wife, one's my mistress.
By one of the transients in my apartment.
Yeah.
No, transient just means somebody that goes from place to place.
Yeah, that's what kind of makes a hotel bar
That's
fun.
what I literally am.
You know what? We're all,
Look, a hotel bar.
This is Trump's America. Everyone arguing. Sorry, am I not allowed?
A hotel bar.
We'll bleep it.
Beeps America.
A hotel bar, you've got people in bands like Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
You've got
rarely.
You've got
get to that.
Businessmen. Well, maybe,
mostly businessmen.
All right, you got people in bands like Bono and The Edge.
Right. Okay.
You've got businessmen like Rupert Murdoch,
my uncle.
Your uncle.
Yeah.
And then also escorts.
Yeah. But here's the thing.
And then families on vacations. It's such a great mix of everything.
Are you usually, both of you, question, when you're at a hotel bar, are you there by yourself?
Sometimes.
I was when I was at this hotel.
That seems like it would be terrible.
Yeah, it's the worst.
That's what hotel bars are for. Go there by yourself.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Whenever I've ever had fun in my whole life at a bar, it's because I went with people or met people there, that I previously knew, that I'm friends with.
Look, bars
exactly.
I've never understood the going out scene where it's like, let's go somewhere so we can go talk to people we don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
Never gonna happen for me.
That's what the beauty of the hotel bar is when you're on tour, and especially the hotel lobby, because this is something that you don't know you can do, but you 100% can do, which I learned from Pup, which is that. You go to the hotel.
There's a dog that you take advice from?
Yeah. I learned this from a puppy.
I learned this from a talking
I learned
dog.
this from Pup. They're Canadian. They're a band. They know the Stranger Things kid.
They do know the Stranger Things kid. They put them in everything they do.
Yeah. Well, two things. Finn Wolfhard, is that his name? That can't be it. If it is, sorry. This is mean to my buddies. Anyway, but the thing about the hotel lobby especially, and the hotel bar, kind of, but I don't think I've ever made it in time because shows get out late, is that you show up with your friends and you just bring beers that you bought at the gas station, and then you hang out in the lobby until 4 o'clock in the morning. And when anybody wants to go to sleep, they could go to sleep, but they want you to do, they don't care. They just don't want you doing that in your fucking room and bothering everybody.
That's true.
Oh, yeah,
so,
that kind of makes sense.
That's why, the hotel hang is tight. It's fun because you can actually get loud and, literally, they do not care.
You don't get passive-aggressive looks once in a while, oh, these punkers are here, and
not really. You get looks like
they're smashing bottles on their head and going, oi, oi, oi.
I don't know. I'm in my 30s, so maybe this is not advice for someone who is smashing bottles on their head and going oi, 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 like I was doing every day in my 20s.
I remember that. I lived with you for some of your 20s.
Sorry again about all your antique bottle collection.
To be honest, that was probably the worst part of it.
And I said, I'm sorry a lot.
Sure.
Do you ever does the concierge ever come over and they're like, so are you staying in this?
They sometimes come over and take your trash.
Now what?
And you go, yeah, take that trash.
And you say oh, sorry. They're like, no worries.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they don't care. Keeps them awake.
Yeah, kind of I don't know. I mean, I imagine it's kind of annoying. They'd probably rather just be sitting back there watching TV, but they
can still do that.
But they would way rather you be there than be in your room and making noise and bothering your neighbors.
No, I know. One of the it wasn't the last time, but one of the most recent times, me and Tim were both in a hotel together. Tim got security called on him.
Really?
For throwing a party. It was a wedding. And then
Tom and I were getting married.
Finally, wait.
No,
I'm sorry. Why wasn't I invited to your wedding? You two.
It's a long story.
It was a very small ceremony.
Yeah.
No, but But no, it was great because when you got the call, the hotel phone rang, and it was just like, well, who else could be calling?
Well, here's the thing. I was drunk enough after this wedding that I was like, ooh, who's calling?
Yeah, I think you were the only one who didn't
Maybe
know.
it's somebody who's going to bring me treats.
How many people were in your room?
Probably about 10.
Yeah, maybe.
Now,
10.
here's the thing. Did you know that you could have just gone into the lobby and done that and
No,
nobody
but
would have
I don't
cared?
want to do that. I wanted to take my
No,
shirt off.
that's what was silly. Because
Was your shirt off?
Well, for
Truly.
some of it, no. My shirt was.
No, and the thing that was silly was that we left the bar. The bar had closed, but
Yeah.
but when the bar closes, all that means is the bartender goes away.
Exactly, and that's
You
what I
can
kind of
still
always
hang out
thought.
in the bar.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
can still just hang out down there.
Yeah, they don't care.
And it's better.
Yeah.
Comfier chairs. It's not like 6 people trying to sit on a bed and like turn around and hang out with each other, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So we could have just stayed down there, but we didn't. We were like, "Oh, the bar's closed," because we don't know Pup the band, so they didn't tell us about this.
Yeah.
I went to
they're
brunch
smart.
with
They're
one of the
good.
men from Pup the Band one time.
Do you remember which one?
No, he was nice.
Steve. I know which one.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
But he
Good-looking
didn't-
guy, right?
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
a very great-looking guy. He didn't tell me thing one about a hotel
We didn't know
lobby.
each other yet.
You and I have known each other, Jeff, since we were 14 years old.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Jeff, that's true.
Good point.
Tim, did you add Tim?
First rule of
Well, hold
improv.
on. Here's a thing that I know about hotel lobbies on tour.
Okay.
Sure.
Tell me if this is true for you. Best place to poop in when you're on tour.
No,
Yeah.
go
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
bathroom for God's sake.
Wait, your own bathroom?
No, any bathroom. Just
Tom,
don't do
no,
it in
what
the
you don't
lobby.
understand is you're on tour. You're far away from your own bathroom.
I feel like this is a classic miscommunication.
Do you know that's
Tim's
why?
talking about pooping in the lobby,
yeah, you
and
don't-
you're talking about pooping in a bathroom.
Yeah. You don't have to go in your bathroom, Tim, but don't do it in the
Oh
lobby.
no, I was talking about the bathroom in the lobby of
I
the
thought,
hotel.
I thought this was like a real rock and roll story.
Yeah,
Go
you
ahead.
shit on the front desk, and then you park your van illegally, kind of,
No, but
and then
when
you get broken into.
because like
Call the cops.
when you're on tour and you're driving
Yeah.
for like if it's like a 12 or 14-hour drive in a
Yeah.
day or whatever,
Yeah,
it sucks. You have to go to a Walmart. The Walmart bathrooms are ridiculous.
yeah. You don't really. I feel like we more so just go to gas station bathrooms. I go to rest stop bathrooms a lot because like you have
There's
like
a-
5 people in your van who've got to poop. Like you can. This whole podcast would be trying to poop while traveling because that's all I know about.
Yeah.
You know, you want to go somewhere with a lot of toilets so you don't so everybody doesn't feel
That's
rushed.
true.
And you know what I mean?
I've been in a band where there's been like 7 of us on tour, and like
Yeah.
it's a hotel lobby of a hotel that we're not staying in, and there's
Oh,
a
yeah.
line of 7 people there.
Yeah.
We're there for like an hour and 45 minutes while everybody poops.
So wait, have you literally gone into a hotel lobby that you were not staying at and just gone to the bathroom?
Yeah, you just put your head down and act like you
like you were staying there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's smart.
And if they ask to check your room key, what I do is I leave.
They don't ask to check.
But
your room
what you're
key.
supposed to do is act indignant, and then they'll back off.
Yeah.
How do you? Tell me one sentence you would say indignantly in this situation.
How dare you? I'm paying good money to stay in this hotel, sir. I don't have to prove to you anything. You're but a service employee.
And they're like, well, this is a Howard Johnson's. You're not spending that much to stay here.
That's true.
Yeah.
No, but you go for the higher end things. They're not going to stop you
Oh,
because
yeah,
they don't
you're-
want to cause a scene.
You're
in there.
way more inclined to not get stopped if you go into like the fanciest hotel
Yeah.
you could find than at a hotel.
Same thing about
You
like
stay at like a middle range, like Holiday Inn Express, like around like that area, La Quinta, like some Quality
Yeah.
Inn, something
Yeah,
like
those,
that,
like
where they don't
yeah.
check. Yeah,
And it's
Courtyard
like-
Marriott.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say corporate, like just kind of like
Corporate.
well, I mean, they're
Great chain.
corporations, but beyond being corporations, they are like they're like the like the business hotels for like businesses that don't spend a lot of money
Exactly,
on people
yeah.
traveling.
And I think when I first started touring,
Mm-hmm.
we would say it. Well, the very first place to say it was like a no name, and literally the water that came out of the bathroom, like the shower thing,
Yeah.
was blue.
Blue. That
It was
doesn't even make
crazy.
sense.
blue water.
Like, imagine being a kid like, I want to be in a touring band forever.
Was this in the Caribbean?
The first thing you say. It was Elsie's Motel in Massachusetts or Connecticut. I'm not sure.
This was
I remember it very vividly.
Your first overnight.
Yeah. And we didn't know anybody. We didn't understand that you can like just crash on floors, which is like, that's what you generally do when you first start touring. And like, or not even like, that's just fun to do. Like, if the situation permits, you should do that. And since the situation often permits, okay. Well, when I say floors, but we're in our 30s now.
Yeah, but
bodies are different.
I was never a big fan of rolling into a town, and this is why I could never be in a band. Really, rolling into a town and playing a set, and you're, halfway through your set, and it's like 9:30 p.m. or whatever. And you're like, hey, by the way, none of us, any of these people on stage, like, know where we're sleeping tonight. If anybody could help us out with that. To me, that is a level of anxiety grafted onto your life that I just do not need. It's just
in which ways? Let's get specific. I want to talk about this.
The most basic primal need of shelter. Yeah. Like, that's one of the
you don't count on it.
That's one of the few things that I have in life figured out. Like, I don't have a lot going for me. I'm not a great man. But here's the thing. I know I have shelter.
Tour is not a great place to feel confident about your shelter situation.
Yeah. And I can't wrap my head around that.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the thing. That's why it's weird. That's why it's
Also, I'm not nice.
That's why it's you're nice. Get out of here.
Is it a weird thing because or rather is it not does it stop being weird because at a certain point you're like, there's always somebody. Like, do you just become confident and
there's not always somebody. No.
Yeah,
I've been there when it hasn't been somebody.
And that's the thing is that sometimes you're and especially, like, so I was in a band that was...
And then what do you do?
That
Stay
was,
up
like,
all night like a vampire?
Notoriously DIY, like, super punk, like, staying at houses, whatever.
The Sex Pistols.
No, we all know when you were in the Sex Pistols.
Look, we're called the Sex Pistols. It's no big deal. Check out our record, Anarchy in the EU. Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't bother myself with those things. But, like, we would stay at houses all the time. Mm-hmm. And then... recently with my new thing, we started going on tour with like bigger bands, like doing support stuff, which we just hadn't done in the other band because we always wanted to do all ages shows. We had like all these things that we wanted to make sure that we're good, and we bent the rules a little bit. Anyway, at those shows, it's not really a thing that like people understand that you're trying to stay at their houses. So it was always weird to me that like you say you play a show for like 40 people and somebody there would be like, yeah, stay on my floor, and it's totally cool. But then we started playing shows where it was like 800 people there, and you have nowhere to stay because everyone's like, no, you can't stay at my house. Why is a band at this like famous band's show being like, hey, I got nowhere to live? you know?
I paid decent money for these tickets. Isn't that enough?
Yeah.
I don't think you know this about the music industry. They kept all their ticket prices under $15?
$10.
Under $10.
No, but he's saying when he toured with bigger bands.
Yeah. $11 tickets we're talking about.
Yeah, 10.
Woo!
Yeah.
But I think that's the difference is that with the other stuff was that there was a community involved, and it didn't really feel like you were imposing, and it did kind of feel like you always would figure it out. And if you wouldn't figure it out, you would have the money to stay at a hotel because you had figured it out so many nights. And I think it gets harder when you're doing that other stuff because it is just like a lot of like, okay, we have to kind of stay at hotels now and you have to budget for it, which is kind of fucked. That's something like, there's an extra like $300 a week I got to figure out now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It does. Do you always stay in the same room, like one room for your whole band?
Christine, who is my wife, who is great.
I've met her once or twice.
You've met her a lot of times. You were. That's okay. All right. My therapist said. Okay.
I didn't kiss her. If that's what you're thinking,
Tom. Sometimes
I saw the look on your face, and he's like, Jeff's reaction made it seem like Tim kissed Christine. No, never even once kissed her. I've known Jeff for a long time.
You blew a kiss at her once, and we didn't talk for 2 years.
But he learned his lesson.
But she tour manages us, and so we're on tour all the time. And occasionally, if we have a good night, we will get 2 rooms, and everybody's happy.
2 rooms, like Elton John and Bernie Taupin, their tribute album. Or
2 rooms.
There was
4
a
rooms.
tribute. There was a tribute album to Elton John and Bernie Taupin called 2 Rooms.
Do you book the rooms ahead of time?
Yes, I've got a lot of information about this.
Are you a member of rewards programs?
I use hotels.com to try and do their rewards. I am a member of Marriott Rewards, but that's because you could transfer their miles to Southwest, which is a whole other thing.
I forget I asked.
Why did you ask? Tom,
Yeah.
Literally, you asked the question.
Priceline Express deals. That's the move. You do Priceline Express deals, and you look at the normal hotels, and you deduce the information from the normal hotels to find out what you're staying at. And also you could kind of figure out whether you could get 2 beds instead of 1 beds.
What the hell are you talking about? Wait, why do you have to deduce it from a website?
Because Priceline Express deals doesn't tell where you're staying. But there are Priceline deals that you could be like, oh, this got an 8 review rating and it's got 4 stars and it costs around this much and it has free parking and free Wi-Fi, but no pool, but a free breakfast. And then you cross-check that with the express
Then
deals.
you try to negotiate up. Why don't you throw in a pool? Why don't you dig a pool by the time I get there?
Cross-check that with what?
With the express deals.
And what does that do?
Okay, express deals are way cheaper. So
what are express deals?
Hold on a second. Let me
Okay.
explain Priceline to you. Can I explain Priceline?
Yeah, this is what this podcast is for.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're staying at a hotel, this is good advice. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, so yeah.
This is good. Hold on. Everybody listening, hold on. Shut up, Tom. I want everybody to know that this is DIY pioneer Jeff Rosenstock, who has been life hacking the road for over a decade now.
Self-investigating.
He's self-investigating the road for...
Don't you normalize this double speak, Tom?
For over a decade. Teaching the kids, Tom.
Yeah, no, I know. I was trying
how
to
to game the system.
Yeah, I'm trying to listen to him, not you.
I just want to make clear
Tim,
what's
point.
happening here. Thank you. Jeff's applauding for me. I wrote half his record. He owes it to me. USA Today won't print the fact that I wrote half his record, but go on.
Seriously, every interview, I'm like, Tim came up with the idea for the second half.
It wasn't in the print copy, but it was in all the hotel.
Yeah, it's in all the
copies.
web stuff. Okay, so Priceline has 3 columns. One is browse all hotels. One is express deals. One's name your own price.
Okay.
I don't mess with name your own price anymore.
$1.
It's it can work out good, but usually it's a waste of time.
Yeah, if you say $1, I mean, how bad could it be?
I mean, they just don't give you the hotel. And then they're, okay, so you say $1.
And then they still take your
They
dollar.
say $1.
Yeah.
No, raise your price a little bit. And then it's like
$2.
$6. And then they're like,
come on, Jeff, you're being an idiot.
and then,
$2.
Okay, so $2. Then they're
Getting
like,
ripped off.
Then they're like, sorry, you can't book this hotel anymore. And now it costs $120. And you're just like, oh no, I can't stay in this city. So what you end up doing is they have browse all hotels, which has good hotels.com style deal on every hotel. And then you have express deals. And express deals is a vague 3-star hotel in this area. It
Close-ish to this, right?
It costs $40. You don't know where it is, but it's
Right.
really cheap, and it's a 3-star hotel for $40.
And now will they be it's within this radius?
Yeah. So it'll be if we were in Brooklyn, it would be it's in Williamsburg, Greenpoint area.
Oh, it's that specific? Well,
I don't know.
Maybe for
this is a hard place to say. But yeah, that's an
We're an
example.
anomaly.
Yeah.
Right.
If it was an anomaly, it'd be
we
something
live there.
confusing.
But if you're out on the road, it's not going to be you got to drive 100 miles to this hotel.
No, you would know you have to.
It's a few miles away.
Yeah, it gives you a radius. Yeah. And then you look at this $40 deal and you're 3 stars. And you go back to browse all hotels. You're like, what in this neighborhood is 3 stars? And then you look at the stuff they have. And then you look back at your express deal that's $40.
It's the same inventory they have in both, is what you're saying.
Yeah. And then also the thing is that there's a Chrome extension that you could just do this with now.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So then you just get these cheap deals, and that's the vibe. I don't want to even spill the beans about that Chrome extension too much because I don't want it to go away. I don't want them to get wise to it.
6 months,
but like we see, like Holiday Inn Expresses for like $70.
Yeah,
that rocks.
Guess what? While you're on tour, this is all gonna go away. They're gonna get wise to it.
They kind of got wise to it, which is why the Chrome extension works, because it used to be a lot easier to figure it out through the app, and then they've changed it. I'm sorry how boring this is for anybody who doesn't stay at
this is
hotels.
actual. This is the first time it's been a guide to anything.
Yeah. For the tens of thousands of people who listen that are getting ready to go on tour.
Yeah. Long story short, cross-check your Priceline shit.
Cross-check your
price line.
Number
it's
one.
It's what we say every week. But now you're hearing it from Jeff, too.
I swear I've totally been listening.
Groupies. This is next on my list.
Truly speaking, that is an offensive word to me.
All right.
Well, I mean, what do you mean groupies?
I don't know. I have a list of questions here.
What do you mean?
This
What
question
do
is
you
just
mean?
groupies,
Why does it say
exclamation point.
groupies?
I don't know. I wanted to.
Also, for those of you who can't see Tim, which is all of you, it looks like you're starting at the bottom of your list.
He's working his way up.
Yeah. How do you make lists?
What do you mean? Like having sex with fans who come to the shows and stuff?
I don't know. Have you ever seen the movie Almost Famous? I'll cross it off.
No,
It's
I'm just
fine.
curious.
You know.
Look, I know that you're great. We're friends. I'm sorry I said it's offensive to me. It's not like that offensive
It's
to
just
me.
a question.
It's
I don't
literally not a question. You said groupies.
Yeah, Tim, you even said that it ended with an exclamation point instead of a question mark.
That's true. All right. I just wanted to celebrate the idea, I guess. But we're not doing that. Apparently, we're not celebrating the idea of. Okay.
What's
fine.
what is?
I'll double
that?
cross it out.
No,
Fine.
Jeff's very sex negative.
Jesus.
What do you?
Thought we were trying to be sex positive on this
Yeah.
podcast.
How did you turn this around on me? We don't. That's never been the thing that I've thought was a thing.
Yeah, right.
I've never come across that as a real thing.
Look, I'm not going to pretend like I'm.
I'm in a punk band though. I don't know. Maybe if
Yeah.
you're in like maybe if you're in like Maroon 5, that's a thing.
That was going to be the band I would say. It's a bunch of handsome guys in that band, right?
I know.
Yeah, name one other band with handsome guys.
Hanson. Oh, you said handsome guys. I thought you said
handsome
handsome
guys.
guys.
Tad. No, wait.
Sleeping floors. We got. Oh, here's what I want to know.
Yeah.
When you go out on tour for a number of months,
Yeah.
how many clothes do you bring? How what are you doing?
Yeah,
It's
how,
like-
yeah, well,
do
It's
you
a
have-
goddamn mystery, Tim.
And you're like a special case because like I've seen.
I'm a little anxious and I have a thing. Yeah.
And
Oh.
You're just.
oh, you
Now
weren't
I
talking
see.
about
No,
that.
never mind. He's quoting someone else.
Jeff, you leave it all on the stage, right?
Yeah.
Your clothes, you leave the stage nude.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tom, I keep
you
telling
must have
you,
to bring a
come
lot
see
of
my band.
No thanks.
So
enough.
it's not like a lot of bands go out there and they have their show clothes, right? Mm-hmm. But you can't do that because they're soaked in sweat.
I do that now. I'm trying to figure out how to do it.
Do you bring Woolite and wash clothes in a sink? I feel like that's the way to go. I recently learned about Woolite.
Why? What is Woolite?
It's how you.
You might be teaching me a little tip.
Yeah,
here.
you can wash clothes in a sink.
I've washed clothes in a sink
Now,
with
what ma-
bars of soap and with normal detergent.
Yeah, I know that's a
before.
punker way to live, Jeff. But
Punker. Jeff, are you a punker?
look at him; he's a punker. He's got egg whites in his hair.
What does now? What's different about Woolite than just any other?
Then like
detergent?
Tide. Yeah. Is there a difference?
From what I understand, it's
Is it
designed,
gentler?
Yeah, it's designed to be hand washed.
Oh, I had no idea. I'm gonna just get Woolite.
Yeah, I'm
Get
sure
a Woolite
it
sponsorship.
can't be that.
When I'm in Europe or Australia where I don't know how to find a laundromat
Yeah.
or how to find a washing
Well,
machine.
and even if you
like,
did, you
I
would
will-
never be able to figure out how it works.
Quite honestly, if I'm somewhere where it's a foreign language, I cannot.
Doesn't matter.
Like the one time we did that in Bomb the Music Industry, we just like were happy the thing turned on and threw all our clothes in it. We're like, let's never do this again.
The last time me and Tim were in London, Tim can attest to this. I was drying my clothes for 2 days. I don't know what was going on.
Oh yeah, they don't. We Americans, we have really good washers and dryers.
We had
Truly.
an Airbnb, and
Yeah.
for
Truly.
48 hours, the dryer was on.
It was
and
just
you
running.
would take it out. You would take out your one shirt that was in there.
Yeah, it would somehow be wetter.
Yeah. Every
Got
2
the-
hours, you
it
take
just
out your
rotates
shirt.
the wetness of all the clothes and makes everything as most wet as
God,
possible.
it was, and then everything's in Celsius.
Yeah, so for shit like that, I'll wash my clothes in the sink.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Which is good. But usually I just like come up with an arbitrary number. I'm just like, think about the amount of shows. Think about like, I want to try and do laundry once. What could fit in my bag? I'm like, all right, grab 10 shirts, 10 underwear, 10 socks, and then shove it in a bag.
I think you mean 20 socks.
Tom raised his eyebrows at me while he said that.
Yeah, 20 socks, 10 pair of socks. Sorry, pardon me.
I've been having trouble folding socks lately. Do you guys want to talk about it?
Folding?
Yeah.
Folding socks.
You just put them in the ball and shut up.
I know, but guess what?
Let me see what socks you're wearing right now.
I'll show you. They're just normal run-of-the-mill socks.
I think it's stripes on them. They're not that normal.
Got striped socks.
I'm wearing.
Oh, you're wearing
classic
tube socks.
white tubes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is the ball.
For the listener at home, I'm wearing ankle socks.
Oh.
But are they fancy designs?
No.
Okay.
When I
Must
don't
be
have
nice,
any,
huh, Tim?
Yeah. They look more like a tube than a ball, and I don't know how to rectify this. But this is something
What do
we
you
can
mean?
table this conversation. I feel
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, this does not have anything to do with touring, Tim.
But it does.
It does.
But I guess it doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think you'd fold it. You just basically try and make yourself as compact as possible and pack with as little things as you can.
You're a
I'm
t-shirts
really bad
man.
at that. What, that I wear T-shirts?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
You're a big T-shirt guy. I always feel fat in T-shirts.
I always feel fat in T-shirts too, but I don't really know what else to do. I've basically been wearing the same clothes I've worn since I was in high school.
Yeah, I just put. I try to put a sweatshirt or a sweater on over my T-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You
I
put
don't feel
layers
so
on,
fat.
then people don't know you're fat.
Yeah.
Well, I think the thing about
or just wear a T-shirt in the pool. People will never know you're fat.
I mean, like the situations in which people think I'm fat is like I'm playing in front of like a bunch of
Situations.
people, getting like crazy sweat and drenched in sweat, and I'm just like I don't know. It's such
so-
there's so much anxiety that I'm just like I don't even know where to begin.
Are you trying to
so
say
I've just stopped caring about what I wear. You know what I mean?
That the people in the audience are like, well, I thought that guy was fat, but look at all the workout he's getting.
Literally,
He can't be.
somebody came up to me once at a show in Cincinnati, and I remember this. And my situation at the time was I was really sick and trying to find a gas station I could shit in because I was
Why'd
like,
you have to do it at a gas station?
try a hotel
the
lobby.
The club had a gross bathroom,
Right.
and I had no idea what to do. And I'm walking around Cincinnati,
Oh,
and somebody came up to me and went, "Jeff, it's nice to meet you. Huh, you're bigger than I thought you would be."
I said
Maybe.
that to Q-Tip when I met Q-Tip, and it wasn't necessarily an insult.
Yeah. Jeff, when they said this to you, were they looking at your crotch?
They were
Because then it might have been, a compliment.
no.
Oh, you're bigger than I thought you'd be.
I looked at all. I know why they said it because I know what I was wearing.
I also,
And you were also bursting at the seams.
I was also like, yeah, exactly. I was exploding at Skyline Chili.
I was hoping that you were going to say that you were looking for a gas station bathroom, like that you were safe in your hotel room, but you were just like, I'm not going to get my deposit back. I need to go find a gas station.
No, but one time our drummer used the bathroom in our hotel room, and there was no toilet paper, and he had to use the hand towels, and then he had to throw
Why
them out
wouldn't
in
you just take a shower?
I don't know. We all asked him that, and he said it was the heat of the moment. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, that's true. That's sorry.
And then he went outside to throw out the hand towels, and he went to the trash can, and there was just a girl there just like vomiting her brains
I don't
out.
think that any of this story is true.
This is completely
Inside
true.
the dumpster.
In a trash can. I didn't say dumpster.
Oh, come on. What hotel has trash cans?
It
and
was
not
a hotel
dumpster?
that was attached to the venue. We were playing in El Paso where 10 people came and they all did ecstasy.
Nice. Must have been
And they knocked in our hotel room at 8 o'clock in the morning and said, "We want to jam." And we were just like, "Go away."
Was this like a deal that a drug dealer set up? Like, buy ecstasy for me and get free admission to this rock and roll concert.
It was one of their birthdays. And they told me that. And I was like, oh, happy birthday. Nice to meet you. And they're like, yeah, we all just ate ecstasy. But we were already friends at that point.
Yeah.
So it was a night.
So then you couldn't say, well, I'm not friends with you. Because I'm not
completely nightmare.
I'm not friends with druggies.
Yeah, I don't talk to people who use drugs.
Jeff, here's a question I have for you.
Yes.
Hold on, let me just cross off change of clothes off my list here. Okay, you're somebody who you're like the person that I most identify with because your level of anxiety is pretty much equal to mine.
Low and we're good.
Yeah, no, just fine in any situation. Do you not find that every single part, every element of touring is the most anxiety-inducing thing ever, from the booking process to the transporting people and equipment, that fragile equipment,
expensive too.
Yeah.
expensive equipment, and a bunch of different personalities, and then dealing with different people every night, talking to strangers, trying to. Do you not find that this is not worth it?
Tim, are you trying to talk Jeff out of this?
No.
No, because what? You're out of the woods for the most part on this, right? Like,
no. Well,
No.
kind of. Now Christine takes care of a lot of that
you
stuff.
have a
It's
lot
like-
of infrastructure.
We have a
built.
tour manager now, which is great for me.
But it's been 15 years of not.
Well, not really. Like in my first band,
It's an
Dave.
actual question, Tom.
Dave-
I wrote it down and everything.
No, you were holding the notepad like you were Woodward or Bernstein.
Are we pretending Tim has a notepad?
He did.
Oh, yeah, it's a great notepad.
Jeff, we support each other on this show.
Tim does really have a notepad.
I guess what I would think is
Uh-huh.
the thing that undercuts my journalistic pose that I'm taking right now.
Yes.
Is that every time Jeff starts to answer the question I asked him, I interrupt him.
Yeah. It's a horrible...
Yeah, it's like how anybody does interviews. What I would think is, and then you read the thing, and it's like something that didn't happen. And you're like, okay.
All right, so this is a gotcha
okay.
question,
Yeah,
but
no.
go ahead and answer.
Well, my first band, I didn't do any of that stuff.
ASOB?
ASOB, I didn't do that. Dave did all that. Our wonderful, love him so much, love him. Dave Renz played trombone in ASOB. He booked the majority of the shows. He did all that stuff. And then when I started on the music industry, and I was like, I want to tour. And it wasn't a thing that I started. It was just kind of like a home recording project that grew into a thing, and I realized was going to become a thing. Not realized it was going to become a thing, but I realized, hey, we should tour. It just kind of fell on me to book the shows, and then there was a point where it was like, okay, I could either not do this and it won't happen, or I could do this and then I could go on tour. And I wanted to do it enough that I did it.
So you didn't really think about it. It was just kind of like, I just have to do this.
Kind of. And I did think about it. I was just like, I hate doing this. I hate talking about it.
But there's no way around this.
I hate talking. Yeah, basically, there's no way around this.
Yeah.
If I want to travel around and play music, and this wasn't like, if I want to be like a musician for a lifetime. It was like, no, if I just want to do this one tour,
Yeah.
I have to do it because this is my thing now.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever look to the Nike swoosh logo and think, yeah, I have to do like Nike says and just do it?
You think this tattoo across my forearm of the Nike swoosh logo is just a coincidence?
I thought it. I think I figured it out.
Yeah, but so I had to, and there were on one of the first tours I booked we played a show in Orlando at this place called Will's Pub. 6 people came to the show. And the promoter was like, okay, you had $100 guarantee, but 6 people came to the show, so I don't know what to do.
Were ticket prices $25?
As a human being, it was like $6 or something. And as a human being, I was like, well, I don't want to take your money. But as a person who was like, well, I'm on tour and this is how I'm going to get to the next show. And I don't really have the money to get to the next show. I don't know what to do. So we literally flipped a coin in the parking lot about getting paid for that show. I was like, okay.
Like Two-Face.
Yeah. I had a Two-Face coin. But, like, that's the thing. It was just like...
Or Anton Sugar.
And who won?
I won. But then we ended up just splitting the difference, and I took $50.
Loaded coin?
Not a loaded coin.
Oh, number 2.
And
always bring a loaded coin to outwit promoters.
I do wonder...
Hey, how about we flip for it?
I wonder if we flipped for it and if he won, if he would have done the same thing.
Wow.
But yeah, it's like...
The man's
but
dead
that's
now,
the thing.
so
But
you can never
also,
know.
like, if you're an anxious person, being on tour, like, once you dive into that shit, you find a fucking awesome outlet for your anxiety. Because nobody would not be anxious doing that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's kind of good. It's kind of just like, okay, I'm doing things that are uncomfortable, that would be uncomfortable for anybody. So
That's
I don't have
better.
to feel weird about being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then you kind of figure out your rhythm with it.
So, like, if I'm buying an iced tea at a convenience store and I feel uncomfortable with that, that's not a productive... Like, yeah, I shouldn't feel uncomfortable. But if I'm flipping a coin with a goddamn promoter in a Orlando parking lot over $100 guarantee, yeah, I should feel uncomfortable at that. That's friggin' genius, Jeff.
Yeah, kind of. Like it kind of works itself out. And when I'm at home, like I feel more like when I'm at home that I can't kind of figure it out. You know what I mean? Because everybody's in pretty much low anxiety situations, and I'm always high anxiety.
Tim, this whole train of thought, you're turning Jeff into Two-Face. This is how he's going to be like, yeah, I'll just bring the coin all the time. I'll let the coin decide.
Tom, I want to make it very clear that at this point in my career, I always bring a weighted coin.
I thought you were going to say at this point in my career, I am not Two-Face. But I might become Two-Face if an accident happens with acid.
You know?
Tim, do you want to solve a problem with Jeff while he's here?
Yeah, let's solve a problem.
Sorry. Did I answer your questions?
Yeah, it's fine. That's not what the show's about. Hello and welcome to Tim and Tom Solve Your Problems. I'm Tim.
I'm Tom.
And today we're going to solve...
I'm Jeff. Thanks for giving me space to answer.
All right. Tom?
Yeah.
Are we still friends?
This one comes to us from a listener, a man named...
Okay.
He writes... Oh, fuck. You're editing this week, Tom?
Oh, God. Now I got to bleep that guy's name out. All right. Let's say his name.
Said his name was Brian, right?
Oh, shut up, guys. This week, we have a problem coming from a man named Tony.
Okay.
It's not his real name.
Okay.
He writes, Hey, Tim and Tom. I'd prefer if you didn't use my name. Good. Because we're not.
Yeah,
we
would. You would.
One-
It's a guy named Tony. That's all we ever knew his name was.
One step ahead of you, Tone.
Been listening to the podcast for about 6 months now. It gets me through long train journeys back from university/work where I'm unable to sit down because it's so busy. I like when people call train trips journeys in other
It's the UK,
countries.
man.
Yeah.
Journeys University. Yo, anybody out there in the UK, your shit's tight. It's good.
Oh,
Pandering.
yeah.
No!
Look, he's got to sell
Come
records
see
in
me
all
on
markets.
tour eventually.
I just stand there with a smile on my face like a total creep. Keep up the good work. Thanks, Tony.
Wait, what was his question?
Yeah.
I'm getting to it.
Oh,
He was
okay.
just. This was the preamble.
Tom thought you said thanks, Tony.
Yeah. I was like,
All right, he writes. Tony writes.
good thing you were here, Jeff.
I have a slight problem. I met the most beautiful girl when I was studying abroad.
Hubba hubba.
We had something of a
Yeah, well,
whirlwind.
if you're studying abroad, of course you're going to
All
meet
right,
a
Tom,
beautiful girl.
This is kind of a long email, and we have to get out of here. We
Hey,
had
Tim, real quick. You got to
Yes,
be on
Jeff.
Back to the Island this
yeah,
year?
we should do some Back to the Island episodes. Absolutely. An award-winning podcast.
USA Today's number one.
Tony continues, we had something of a whirlwind romance, and after I finished studying, I decided to move to her home country to be with her. Stop. Guys, we're not even to the problem.
All right.
Look, if we can't judge, what's the point of this?
I stayed there for a year while she finished her degrees. Afterwards, the two of us moved back to my hometown for 6 months while I started my postgraduate studies. That was a lot of time and like a lot of school or
Honestly,
something.
at this point, it sounds like things went well.
Yeah, so far. She's moving back in just under 2 months to start a new job, and I will probably follow her as soon as I can. I want to express to her that I'm serious about us being together. She keeps hinting at engagement/marriage, but I'm not sure I believe in it. Part of me finds it very embarrassing, the thought of getting engaged at such a young age. I'm 25. If I see someone getting engaged or married at such a young age, I always consider them foolhardy. Moreover, marriage in general just doesn't appeal to me. I have never and I will never be religious, other than having a day of gifts and attention. I can't see the point. I know it would make her happy, but it feels like it would conflict something deep inside me. Also, I'm a realist, and I know things could go wrong at any point, and we could go downhill. People change. What should I do? I'd be interested to know your take on it. Your advice each week tends to be generally pretty sound. Yours faithfully, Tony.
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 I have strong opinions, but I want to hear what you guys have to say first.
I was going to say, I thought when he was saying he's not religious, but he likes a day of gifts and attention.
That's just your birthday. Just do that.
Yeah,
just keep
just
the
have a
birthday.
birthday.
That's not a religion.
Yeah, that's not a religious thing.
Hey, dumb fuck, cancel Christmas. Sorry.
Well, I'll say this much. 25 is a little young, but it's not like crazy young. It's not 18.
Yeah, you're not
Sorry.
that young,
You're not
Tony.
that young.
Yeah. You're in your mid-20s.
And here's the other thing. Like, as much as you don't care about marriage, you're going to be less and less, like, excited about being like, well, at any time I could go play the field. Because guess what? You're not going to be able to do that.
It did kind of seem like the end of it, he was talking about, like, I'm not sure what else is out there, huh?
Yeah, right? And it's fine if that's the way you are.
Yeah,
and if
totally.
That's
No
your thing.
judgment.
But don't steep it in this like, well, it's about institutions and being punk rock. No, you want punk rock? You talk to my friend Jeff Rosenstock.
I'm dang married.
And he's dang married.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like you can't think about it about the church. You can't think about any of that stuff. Just like, do you feel like this is your teammate? Do you feel like this is your partner? Do you feel like this is the person who you just like enjoy being around and want to do stuff with? Do you feel like when you're not doing stuff with them, it's dumb, it's pointless? Like, you've moved from place to place. It seems like you're basically married anyway, so it's just kind of, if she wants to get married and you feel like it's going to be good for you as a team, and you feel like, you know, it's just kind of like saying like, hey, I'm in to like fight through problems, and I don't care, and like we'll figure it out. You know what I mean? I don't think it has anything to do with the church. I feel like thinking about your other options out there, it's just like, if you're thinking about your other options out there, then break up and go find your other options out there.
Yeah, because it's gonna be easier now to find those other options.
Yeah, like what are you
older
waiting
and have
for?
less to offer unless you get rich, Tony.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, what if this guy, Tony, what if he's planning on becoming a magnate?
What does that mean? I truly don't understand what that means.
It's like a very rich man who can attract metal.
Like my Uncle
with his
Rupert.
mind.
Yeah, but love has nothing to do with metal.
Well, that's not a very punk thing to think at all.
Yeah, it's true.
Sorry, I'm a nerd.
So famous sportsman Jeff Rosenstock says you should find your team.
Famous poser.
No, I mean, I don't know. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. It's just like...
Well,
I think that's great advice.
Well, I think I mean, I've been married a few times, but my thing is
every time to my ex-wife, by the way.
not every time, just most of the times to Tim's ex-wives. If you're like, oh, it's stupid or whatever, then be like, oh, then I don't give a shit. Then just do it.
Yeah. That's my thing. Like,
yeah.
If you this,
bad reason to not get married kind of thing.
Well, this also goes for like religious stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like in general, when people are like, "Oh, this is stupid," like my mom or my grandma wants me to go to church on Christmas, but I think it's stupid, so I'm not going to go. It's like, you think it's stupid? Just go there so your mom or grandma doesn't cry.
Yeah, do something that'll make someone else happy.
Yeah,
and
if
honestly,
it's important to them and you don't give a shit, just fucking do it.
And that probably, if he's listening right now, he's like, whoa, but this is a lifelong commitment. But, like, dude, straight up, like, you've lived in each other's, cities, countries? Like, you've traveled in countries, yeah. You've lived in each other countries at this point. Like, you've kind of, if you're still together, like, you've done the hardest thing possible.
Oh, absolutely.
And you've both, like, been a part of each other's worlds. So it's like, if that lasted, just like, I don't know. I know it's scary, but just do it.
And guess what? You have your built-in wedding party right here.
Yeah.
I'm not going. I already have something. I'm sorry.
Jeff's busy, but Tom will be there. I'm busy too.
Yeah, Tim, you and
Jeff have a college reunion.
College reunion.
But I'd be happy to be the best man. No, I'm
that's the
kidding.
thing.
The ring bearer. The grown ring bearer.
Did I tell you about how at my brother's wedding I did the best bit of pretending like I didn't have the rings? And, like,
Tim, why were you the ring bearer at your adult brother's weddings in which you were also an adult?
Well, of course my
also
brother
had
was
the
an
same
adult.
thing.
If my brother was a child groom, that would be weird.
Fair.
You don't hear about child grooms that often.
He was a very handsome boy.
You know, it's this blame stream media. You never hear about child grooms.
But no, like the ring bearer brought it up. It was actually, I think, tied to a dog.
The ring bearer?
the ring bearer was tied to a dog. No, the ring bearer was a dog.
There was a bear too?
This was
Jeez,
almost
what?
my exact situation at my brother's.
Oh,
This wedding sounds
anyway,
like a goddamn 3-ring circus.
and then the rings got into my possession, and then I had to give them the rings. And I did like a Duff McKagan. Is that who it was in the November Rain video? That
Yeah.
who didn't have it?
Yeah.
So I did one of those, and fully, like, I would say 30% of the audience, is that what you call it at a wedding, was on board with my bit.
That's not enough.
70, including both the bride and the groom, not on board with the bit. But the ferocity with which the 30% was on my side,
Yeah.
I got some like audible laughs during the ceremony. And how often does that happen?
You had some big Duff fans there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You pulled a Duff. Meanwhile, I pulled a Slash and went outside and ripped a solo. He was like, wait, is he leaving? It's not over yet.
Playing the Chinese. Yeah.
He's just out there ripping a solo.
All right.
So
I think
there's
we
your
solved
advice.
Tony.
Was that a
Yeah.
good answer?
I think it was. That was like the most serious answer we've ever given on one of these things.
I feel, well, because last time I gave a very bad answer.
It was very glib.
And that's why you hadn't been on.
I mean, my
since.
answer is also kind of glib, which is that, like, if this is even a question for you, dude, like, assess your situation.
I'm gonna do the quick wrap up thing, then we can talk for a minute.
Jeff, he was
Just-
telling
Do
you
you
to
wrap
just,
it up before the podcast ends?
He was
Wrap
telling
it
you to
up.
just take a seat for a minute.
Just take a seat,
Oh,
'cause I got some business. If you like the
talking
show,
about the Shave
you
Club?
can go to tcgt.com to check out more. If you like the show, you can go to tcgt.com to check out more. You can follow us on Twitter at Complete Guide. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Complete Guide. Follow me on Twitter at Complete Guide, at Tom Reynolds, and on Instagram at Tom Reynolds.
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at your pal Tim. You can follow
You can
Jeff.
follow them.
I was going to get to Jeff.
Okay.
No, that's fine.
If you want to support the show, tcgt.com/Amazon. Do your Amazon shopping through there, especially all the holiday shopping. Give us a little bit, for goodness sake.
Brings you to the same Amazon you know and love. We get a little bit of kickback with no cost to you.
Can I ask you a true question?
No.
Because I kind of spaced out. This is about the Amazon thing. This is good for you.
Yeah.
I put in guide when I'm shopping on Amazon. You guys just get 10%.
You just go to tcgt.com/Amazon.
TCGTE.
.com.
Okay.
/Amazon.
Brings you to the Amazon that you know and love, Jeff.
Okay, cool.
And or you can support the show by going to tcgt.com/pledge, where you can join our Patreon and get a bunch of free stuff, such as a weekly episode of The News starring Tim and Tom.
No.
Yeah, it's true, Jeff.
Oh, my God.
Jeff.
How long have you had that podcast?
A few weeks.
That sounds awesome.
Jeff, where can people find you online?
Just look up Jeff Rosenstock. You'll find me. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram.
I can't find your tour dates anytime that
if you go to jeffrosenstock.com, you will find the tour dates.
Okay.
So
I put it away. I'm sorry.
and where can people check out Worry?
Spotify, iTunes.
Listen to it.
Go to quote-unquote-records.com, and you can download it for free amongst 90-ish other records that you could download for free and donate if you like it.
Including Laura Stevenson's new live record, where all the proceeds go to Planned Parenthood.
Yeah. Laura's the best. She rules.
Is that a full-length record?
Which one?
Laura Stevenson's?
It's 1 minute live show. It's
1 minute live show?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Then, yeah.
We
so
condensed
it's a scam.
it down.
It's a big scam.
It's a big scam, but, Planned Parenthood will get some. No, it's a full live record. It's like an hour long. It's awesome.
Wow.
They're great. Their band shreds. It rolls. Laura's the best.
Jeff, you produced her record Cocksure.
I
great.
did.
Yeah.
I think that record's really good.
I listened to it like 3 times in a row today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's nice.
Cool. I like
Good
that record a lot. Yeah.
No worry.
It's always I don't know. I feel like whenever I'm done with a record like Cocksure, I'm just like, oh, yeah, of course. Laura's the most famous person in the world now. And I'm just like, oh.
And then dang Beyonce comes Formation. Yeah.
Yeah, Cocksure is good. I loved that record.
Yeah.
Those songs are so good.
Agreed. Hey, the production was all right too.
Yeah.
And hey,
Shaker.
Who doesn't?
Why not put Shaker on it?
Who doesn't like songs? Jeff, am I thanked in your new record?
No.
Why not?
But also, your computer looks fake. This new MacBook Pro doesn't
tiny.
look real.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's why I don't get a thank you in your new record?
Well, you didn't do anything, Tom.
Or is there going to be a second issue, a second pressing where I'm thanked?
No.
Why not?
Why do you get thanked?
I mean,
because you grumbled your way through a podcast that Jeff was on?
Does it cost you anything to thank me on the record?
It costs me time to figure out how to lay it out.
No, just put it on the end.
And then I have to think about the tier of help that you are on.
Just put me anywhere.
That seems fucking
It doesn't even have to be
No. You just have to think of who directly did it and then put something that's look, guys, I'm an idiot. I forgot. I'm sure I forgot.
Jeff,
I forgot Greg or booking agent. I forgot somebody really, really important. I was just like, oh my God.
Well, this is the perfect time to make amends on the touring episode.
Somebody who you're forgetting now.
It's tough. It's tough because I don't know. I want to thank every promoter and everybody who let us stay on their floor, but it's just that just becomes a mishmash of garbage and
save it for the people that wrote the second half of the record and
thanks kind of.
Yeah, I did. I got a total thanks.
Oh, did you get one of... right, I gave you that copy of it.
No, hey, here's what I did. And we got to go.
It's awful weird that you bring these all out on office paper.
Yeah, man, it's punk. Nothing's more punk than office paper.
Nothing's dumber to me when, I ordered your record because I waited too long to,
Oh, I didn't order. I waited to see if I was in the liner notes or not first.
No, to call you up. To hang out in the brief window where your record was out before you went on tour.
Did we not? I was barely home that window.
Yeah, so I just ordered it myself. But then, Jeff, I ordered a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Because I really like one of your T-shirt designs.
Yeah. And I was going to give you a free hoodie, and we actually didn't correct the stock on the website, and I sold it.
And what were you going to give me?
But here's the thing.
You didn't do anything.
I assumed that came from a warehouse in California, and I see the return address is your dang apartment. And I was like, Jeff, I was at Jeff's house 3 days ago. I ordered this T-shirt, and in the time, between me, you packaged that and sent it to me. I got an autograph out of it.
We got to do stuff when we're not on tour, you know what I mean? We do stuff ourselves.
But look, Tim, if you wanted to hang out with Jeff the week his record came out, that means all the publicity worked. You know,
Yeah,
you had 7 times before you want to hang out with somebody.
We had a friendship publicity situation. For those of you who are listening who don't know this, when the podcast is ending, Tim and Tom are literally packing their bags up while the podcast is happening.
No. Jeff, yeah, thanks a lot for coming.
Thanks a lot for having me. I hope I could come back. John, producer, sorry for keeping you here so late.
Yeah, we never give John a shout out.
No.
Yeah. I always hear the good shout. All right. Also, this isn't a beautiful building. You're looking at the freaking Freedom Tower.
Yeah.
I was sitting here. I was wondering, like, how many buildings in New York are podcasts happening in right now?
John didn't get a shout out. I didn't get a shout out on your record. I guess.
Tim, it was great to be here. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jeff.
See you next week.
Bye, Tim.
See you next week.
That was a HeadGum podcast.